In this lesson, we will learn how to write a formal letter. Formal letters are written to people whom we don't know personally or to people we have never met. For example, businesses, managers, or agencies. Let's have a look at the format for writing a formal letter. The letter must begin with an opening salutation. An opening salutation is basically addressing a person. As we know, all formal letters are written to people whom we don't know, so these letters must begin with Dear Sir or Madam. If the name is given in the task instructions, then we will write it as Dear and the given name. Next, we have to write 3 body paragraphs based on the 3 task points given in the question. For body paragraphs, we have to answer each task point in a different paragraph. In the first body paragraph, we will write an opening sentence that will mention the reason for our letter writing. Then we will explain task point 1 in the same paragraph. In the second body paragraph, we will write about task point 2, and in the third body paragraph, we will write about task point 3. After we write our body paragraphs, we have to close our letter appropriately using the right tone, so we will write a closing sentence. The closing sentence must indicate a response back from the recipient of the letter. For formal letters, we have to use formal phrases such as looking forward to hear from you. This phrase indicates that you are looking for a response back from the recipient of the letter. After writing a closing sentence, we will write an appropriate closing salutation based on the tone of the letter. For formal letters, we have to write a formal closing salutation. For example, yours faithfully, yours sincerely. At the end, you have to write the name after the closing salutation to make the letter look realistic. For formal letters, you have to write a full name that can be any imaginary name. While writing a formal letter, we have to keep in mind that we cannot use contraction in formal letters. A contraction is a word made by shortening and combining 2 words. For example, am is a contraction word made from I and am. Similarly, didn't is a combination of did and not. So we have to write complete words as I am and did not. Now we are done with the format of a formal letter. Now I'm going to take a sample question and we'll solve it step by step. Let's have a look at the sample question which says, you have just returned from a holiday and were not satisfied with your trip. Write to the travel agency. In your letter, say where when you went on a holiday. Explain why you're not satisfied with your holiday. Tell them what you would like them to do. As per this question, you went for a holiday and were not satisfied with your trip, so this is the main reason for you to write this letter. Before we start writing, we have to identify the appropriate tone for the letter. Here you are writing this letter to a travel agency and you don't know them personally. That's why the tone of this letter will be formal. Also, the 3 given bullet points are the 3 different task points of this question which we need to address. To make this writing more clear and organized, I will answer each task point in a different paragraph. Before I start writing a letter, I'm going to take about 2 to 3 minutes to make a quick draft in which I will generate some ideas that I'll use in this letter. We will make a draft based on the format of the letter that we already discussed. So as per the format, we need to write an opening salutation, 3 body paragraphs, a closing sentence, a closing salutation, and a name. As we are writing this letter to the travel agency and no name is given, we have to write the opening salutation as Dear Sir or Madam. Next, we have to write the opening sentence of the first body paragraph where we have to explain the reason for writing this letter. As per this question, you have just returned from a holiday and were not satisfied with your trip. So the main reason for you to write this letter is that you are dissatisfied with the holiday. We will also answer the first task point in the first body paragraph, which says where when you went on a holiday. Here I can imagine a 7-day Paris tour as a holiday destination. After that, we will address the task point 2 in the second body paragraph, where we have to explain the reasons why we are not satisfied with the holiday. I will add 2 reasons. The first reason could be the poor quality of accommodation while on the trip. The second reason could be the money paid to arrange cab service but did not arrange it. In the third body paragraph, we have to say what we would like them to do. I will write here that I need a refund the money that paid for cab service. Then we will write the closing sentence that must indicate that we want some kind of response or reply back from the recipient of this letter. Afterwards, we have to write a formal closing salutation. Here I will write yours faithfully, and at the end we have to write our full name to make this letter look realistic. Now we are done with our draft and we will start writing our letter. First of all, we will write an opening salutation for this letter. As this is a formal letter, we will simply write, Dear Sir or Madam. Next, we will write the first body paragraph. I will start with an opening sentence where I will explain our reason for writing this letter, which is our dissatisfaction with the holiday. I will write it as I am writing to express my dissatisfaction with a holiday package organized by your company. Then I will explain the first task point about when and where we went on a holiday. Considering my draft point, I will write it as we had booked our trip to Paris, which was a 7-day tour that began on the 25th of last month. Then I will write the second body paragraph. I'm going to answer the task point 2 of this question by describing the reasons why I'm not satisfied with the holiday. I will explain the first reason from the draft, which is the poor quality of accommodation. I will write it as one of the most frustrating aspects of our vacation was the poor quality of accommodation. I will continue to write. We were supposed to stay in a 4-star hotel as part of our holiday package, but when we arrived, we noticed that it was just a 2-star establishment. After that, I will explain the second reason. I will write it as in addition, we paid an extra amount to your agency to arrange a cab service from the airport to the hotel, but we were surprised to find that there was no such arrangement. After that, we incurred an additional expense for a taxi ride to our accommodation. Also, you'll notice here I have used a connecting word in addition that shows we are switching to the next idea. Such connecting words are required to show coherence and cohesion in the task. Now we will write the third body paragraph where we have to explain what we would like the travel agency to do. I will again use the idea from the draft, which is to take the refund for the money we paid to arrange a cab service. I will write it as a consequence, we are requesting a full refund of the money we paid you to reserve a taxi service at the airport. After that, we will write a formal closing sentence to indicate we need a response back for this letter. We can simply write, looking for a prompt response to our concern. After the closing sentence, we will write the closing salutation, that is, yours faithfully. And finally, I will write the full name, 50 Geeks. Here you can write your full name or any other name. It really doesn't matter. So this is all about writing a formal letter. With some practice, you'll be able to attempt this task. So good luck and keep practicing.